right, here we go. Special edition of the Steve Gruber Show. Yeah. Live in D.C. again. I know it's becoming a bit of a habit. Not in Studio G, but we're still fighting for you from the Foxwell Freedom every single day. Warning. The Steve Gruber Show often results in extended periods of American pride, optimism, and uncontrollable enthusiasm about this country's future. We're kicking off the live broadcast and Real America's Voice and MTN, reaching a growing global audience. This is the Steve Gruber Show. It is a no panic zone, and here are three big things you need to know to start this day. Number one, the family of the Colorado illegal alien monster that set Americans on fire for being Jewish, all in custody, could be tossed out of the country as soon as today. Number two, the Ukraine drone blitz on Russian military jets that destroyed more than 40 of them over the weekend has militaries all over the world rethinking how wars are fought and won, including our own. We'll talk about that in number three. The war of words over massive government spending continues to heat up. The latest bomb dropped by Elon Musk. That's right, Elon Musk. The war of words over spending continues as Elon Musk drops that bomb. He's tweeting this out. I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. Strong words from a key advisor to the Trump administration. I don't blame him. He puts his livelihood on the line to cut spending, but it seems that Congress isn't taking his goals of saving trillions in this country seriously. Here's Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt and her response shortly after Musk posted that comment yesterday.
And something that just crossed, Caroline, how mad do you think President Trump is going to be when he finds out that Elon Musk said, I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it.
Look, the president on this bill, it doesn't change the president's opinion. This is one big, beautiful bill, and he's sticking to it.
And something that just crossed, Caroline.
And he's sticking to it. Not sure that's a good idea in all its forms. It's turning into quite a sticky situation. The bill does a lot to push Trump's agenda forward, but it also raises the debt ceiling again, something that conservatives have always pretended that they're against. We'll keep an eye on this as it develops, but I want to switch gears and remind you about the good things that have been happening, and that liberals hate to see us winning. They'll twist themselves into pretzels trying to deny the fact that the Trump agenda and basic common sense mandate that the American people gave him is working. Almost everywhere you look. The headline from the Washington Post says it all. Look at this. It reads, quote, the mysterious drop in fentanyl seizures along the U.S.-Mexico border, saying the reasons behind the decrease are, quote, complex. No, it's not complex. This nonsense represents peak liberal spin. They're whining about fewer busts at the border, really? Conveniently ignoring that President Trump and his ironclad border security is choking off the cartel supply lines, period. Of course, the Post won't admit the MAGA agenda is working, securing the border, slashing illegal crossings, starving the drug trade. They'd rather clutch pearls, push their tired narrative that credit Trump's America First policies. Typical elitist nonsense from a rag that's allergic to facts. The real story? Trump's making America safe again, and the Post just can't stand it. There were two huge issues that arguably got Donald Trump elected last year, the border and the economy. The border and the economy, and the Democrat Party cannot stand that Donald Trump is making huge strides in both, despite the absolute train wreck he was left by the Biden administration. So the left is doing everything they can to demonize his work. Of course they are. But there are truth tellers. Here's Border Czar Tom Homan spelling the problem out.
Even through the legal process, the Biden administration will bring people unvetted, handing out work visas like they're candy, while they sat here and planned something bad. We are going to be dealing with this for the next 10 years because of the chaos they created in 4 years. We're out there kicking butt. We're arresting a lot of criminal aliens. We're out there looking for the bad guy. And when we're out there doing that, Sean, we got protesters assaulting ICE officers. We got members of Congress all over the country going to ICE facilities, raising hell, saying this is your oversight responsibility. Where were those oversight responsibility when 10.5 million illegal aliens came across the border? Where's the oversight responsibility on releasing over 8 million illegal aliens to this country? Where's the oversight responsibility then? This is an attack on ICE. This is an attack on the Trump administration. We're trying to fix the damage done by Biden.
Absolutely. And the Democrat Party is absolutely, along with their media partners, without question, instigating the anti-ICE hate that is happening right now. ICE agents are having to wear masks to protect their identities because it's getting so hard out there. And here's Representative Dan Goldman making a fuss. Really? Listen to this.
And I asked them, I said to them, what is the point here? Are you just trying to tally more arrests? I didn't get any real response. And then I said to them, why are you wearing masks? I was a federal prosecutor for 10 years. I worked with ICE agents. I worked with law enforcement agents. I never saw any of them wear masks. This is brand new. And the question is, if everything is legitimate and proper, why are you wearing masks to hide your face?
What a dishonest, well, I can't say this on a family program, but let's not forget that Dan Goldman loved the idea of masks during BLM riots and the pandemic, loved it. ICE Director Scott Lyons, the acting director, set the media straight on this outrageous talking point. Listen to this absolute fire of a response.
Why they wear masks?
I'm going to answer the mask question. So, no, not the mask, the mask. So, a lot of agencies were invited to come out 2 weeks ago in Los Angeles where we ran an operation where ICE officers were doxxed. So let's just say that again. People are out there taking photos of the names, their faces, and posting them online with death threats to their family and themselves. So I'm sorry if people are offended by them wearing masks, but I'm not going to let my officers and agents go out there and put their lives on the line and their family on the line because people don't like what immigration enforcement is. They are wearing those masks because we ran an operation with the Secret Service where we arrested someone that was going online, taking their photos, posting their families, their kids' Instagram, their kids' Facebooks, and targeting them. So let me ask, is that the issue here, that we're just upset about the masks? Or is anyone upset with the fact that ICE officers' families were labeled terrorists?
Absolute fire from acting ICE Director Scott Lyons when his agency was chided for wearing those masks during raids. Man, he rips the media, and well done. The ICE agents are out there risking their lives every day to protect you and me and clean up this mess that Sleepy Joe and his staffers left behind. And when Democrats aren't criticizing that, they're deflecting on what actually got us here. We'll get to that after the break. Before then, remember this. If you want to learn a lot more about what's going on in this world, how the country works, and get it from a great source, Hillsdale College. Gruber for Hillsdale.com will get you more than 40 free online courses to teach you about the Constitution, C.S. Lewis, Christianity in early America, and so much more. You want to learn about free market economies? Again, Gruber for Hillsdale.com. Become the smartest person in the room this weekend. Binge on this. Gruber for Hillsdale.com. It's free and easy to sign up. I'll be right back. All right, like I said, the Democrats continue to dismiss, deflect, downplay, deny that they had a serious role in the problems we face now in this country when it comes to illegals. For example, Democrat Congressman Jason Crow trying to downplay the fact the Boulder suspect who threw Molotov cocktails at American citizens and lit them on fire over the weekend was here illegally. He was here illegally. These people don't care. Listen.
Well, President Trump routinely just attacks his opponents when terrible things happen, and that's not leadership. That's not the type of leadership that the president needs. Of course, we need answers. We need answers about the visa overstay, and a visa overstay has nothing to do with the border.
Here's the fact, pal. When it came to immigration, you enforced nothing. Nothing to do with the border. Deflect, deny, demonize. It's all these guys have. It's on you, pal. and you're friends with the auto pen. It's been the playbook on the economy as well. Fear-mongering in its finest form. Fear-monger. The media, the Democrats, they've all put their heart and soul the last few months into warning you and me the apocalypse is coming. It will be Donald Trump's fault. Really. When the real story is that consumer sentiment is up, inflation is down, manufacturing is returning to America's shores, bringing tens of thousands of jobs back to our hardworking patriots, just like I discussed with the president during his trip to Pittsburgh on Friday. And Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has been delivering a masterclass on setting the record straight on this issue over and again. Here he is putting CBS's Margaret Brennan to shame and in her place, frankly. Listen.
Listen to earnings calls just like we do. You know what Walmart's saying, what Best Buy's saying, and what Target are saying.
But Margaret, I also know what Home Depot and Amazon are saying. I know what the South China Morning Post wrote within the past 24 hours, that 65% of the tariffs will likely be eaten by the Chinese producer.
By the Chinese producer. She really thought she had him on that gotcha question, but he kept going. Here's more.
We wanted to make sure that there aren't price increases, Margaret, and thus far there have been no price increases. Everything has been alarmist, that the inflation numbers are actually dropping. We saw the first drop of inflation in 4 years. The inflation numbers last week, they were very pro-consumer.
Right. But you listen to earnings calls just like we do. You know what Walmart's saying, what Best Buy's saying, and what Target are saying.
But Margaret, I also know what Home Depot and Amazon are saying. I know what the South China Morning Post wrote within the past 24 hours, that 65% of the tariffs will likely be eaten by the Chinese producers.
Again, you needed to hear that twice. 65% going to the Chinese producers, not to us, not to our consumers. In the words of Jack Nicholson, you can't handle the truth. Kansas Senator Roger Marshall says he's already seeing the benefits of Trump's economic agenda here at home, too. Listen.
Already back home, I'm seeing manufacturing jobs grow and grow and grow that we can't keep up with the orders, and I think that's probably because of President Trump's tariffs. I think the deregulation will add a 0.5%, maybe a 1% growth. I think those are the first steps, but it's just this general attitude that we're the start of a new economy. I think that the American consumer still drives the economy in so many ways.
Now, thank you, Senator. Now, just yesterday, the May 2025 JOLTS job report says openings hit 7.4 million. That's available jobs in America today. The forecast was for 7.1. The labor market's looking strong despite all the tariff panic being peddled by the left-wing media and the Democrats. Hiring is up to 5.6 million. Those quitting their jobs dipped to just 3.1 million. Manufacturing and construction killing it, showing the economy is not sweating the media's gloom and doom takes. It's all pointing to steady growth, not a crash. You see, the Democrats' campaign to bury Trump's agenda with their humbug media hits just isn't working because they're ignoring the facts, and people on the ground know the facts, too. It's no wonder that the polling shows that CNN's veteran pollster flabbergasted by the results. Oh, this is fun. Watch.
After all of the waves, Kate Baldwin, after the last few months, the first 5 months of the Donald Trump presidency, right, the first 4 months of the Donald Trump presidency, that you expect that Democrats would have this massive lead on the economy. It ain't so. It ain't so. The party that is closest to your economic views, in November of 2023, it was the Republicans by 11 points. Now it's still within that range, still within that margin of error. Plus 8-point advantage for the Republican Party. How is that possible, Democrats? How is that possible after all the recession fears, after the stock market's been doing all of this, after all the tariffs that Americans are against, and Republicans still hold an 8-point lead on the economy? Are you kidding me? Which is the party of the middle class has been a huge advantage for Democrats. I have polling from NBC going all the way back since 1989 when Democrats had a 23-point advantage. 2016, a 17-point advantage. But by this decade, we already started seeing declines back in 2022, where you saw that Democrats led, but only by 4 points, well within the margin of error. And now in our latest CNN poll among registered voters, which is the party of the middle class, it is tied. This, I think, speaks to Democratic ills more than anything else. They have traditionally been the party of the middle class. No more. Donald Trump and the Republican Party have taken that mantle away, and now a key advantage for Democrats historically has gone adios amigo.
Here's the point. Donald Trump has ripped the curtain back. Americans know that Democrats don't have their back. They've been sold out in favor of fringe groups like illegal aliens, Ukrainian warmongers, and pro-Palestinian terrorists. The Democrats and their media lapdogs are desperate to paint Trump's agenda as a disaster, but the truth is undeniable. Consumer sentiment is soaring, inflation's down, jobs are booming with 7.4 million openings, and manufacturing is roaring back. The border's tighter, fentanyl's drying up, and the economy's shrugging off the tariff scare tactics. Americans see through the left's deflect and deny playbook. Trump's delivering wins while Democrats cry wolf, and the polls prove it. CNN's own data shows the people are done with their nonsense. Adios, haters. Put America first, that's what I say. All right, still to come today. This dangerous delivery, potentially by 2 Chinese nationals, of a fungus that would destroy corn, wheat, rice, food in America, originating at the University of Michigan again. This place needs to be looked at. We'll talk about it coming up.